Rolling into Juneau. Happy Friday, July 8th. Definitely already looks more like a town, Mom said, than Skagway did. I'm on the balcony. On the veranda. I keep forgetting to do the outro, you guys. I'm terrible. But I literally fell asleep. As you can still hear the sleep in my voice. When we came back from dinner in yesterday's outfit. I fell asleep in yesterday's outfit. And I just woke up to see Juneau, but I figured I'd recap yesterday before I changed and got ready for the day.
Same outfit anyway.
Same outfit. So see, it looks like I could look like I know what I'm doing if it looked like it's still last night. So it was all intentional. I planned it all out. So we did the excursion that was 6.5 hours that encompassed the Yukon, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Yukon, White Pass, Railway, the Panning for Gold, and the Iditarod sled dogs. So it was 3 parts. One, the railway was its own separate, and then the gold panning and the sled dogs were together. My favorite part of it was the railway. It was stunning. I don't know what I expected it to be when I read the excursion. I guess I just expected what I've always seen for trains, which is going through a flat surface. But Alaska's mountainous, and that's part of the beauty of Alaska. So that railway is going up a mountain. It doesn't go straight up, like you're not on a roller coaster, but you do go progressively up, and you do go through 2 tunnels that are completely pitch black. One is really short, it's like 30 seconds, but the other one's a bit longer, maybe a minute and a half. And the entire excursion was 2.5 hours. They do have restrooms in each of the cabins, and there is not a conductor, like somebody that's in the cabin with you.
We have a tour guide.
A tour guide, there you go. Narrating, and it's set in like 1898, so they're in 1800s clothing, and they have funny names. We had Max Glacier, but his real name is Isaiah. He told us at the end of the tour, so I really loved that. The scenery was just stunning. I just wanted to point out those few things, that you are going up a mountain and that there are some dark tunnels, because I just had no idea going in. And Abel's afraid of heights. So he didn't go out onto the platforms. He stayed in the train car in his seat, but I went out onto the platform several times, and that's the footage that you guys saw. That's clear, not through the window. Then we took a motor coach to the gold panning and the sled dogs. The motor coach was maybe 10 minutes. Skagway itself is itty bitty. I mean, you could probably walk from one end where your ship docks to the other in like 20 minutes, I'd say. It's so small. So the motor coach took us very little time. We got a demonstration on how to do the gold panning, and then we tried it ourselves. It was so difficult. Mom and I struggled. And it sucks because the guy that was showing us during the demonstration it was very cute. It was very like comedy sketched, that he was doing all the deadpan jokes or dad jokes, like you gotta be bolder and stick your pan in the water, and all rock related. So it was very cute, and I'm like, cool. This guy made it look so easy. It's 3 steps. Got it. We got
so much.
When we got to the panning, like they would let us into our own station to do it. Woo, and I was really bad. Abel did great, but he's very meticulous, so he took like a really long time, and our lady kept coming over and asking if she needed, or if any of us at the table really wanted any assistance, if we wanted her to take a last look at it to make sure there wasn't any gold that we missed. But I think we had several people come, and I handed my pan over to everybody that came over, like, yes, please do it. It was really hard. So
Because you're afraid you're gonna lose all your gold. That's
yeah,
why.
because they're like, yeah, just dunk it. But if you do that and you didn't swish it properly to get the gold to settle on the bottom, you're gonna dunk your gold right into the water. So it's very stressful. And to know of the conditions that these people that had that insatiable gold fever, we learned in depth at the very end. And that was probably one of my least favorite parts, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Not for the information, but just the way it was laid out. The people that had to go through the process that they did to get to the gold. So they had to carry a certain amount of supplies to be able to go up to the camp and do the trek, and it was literally a ton of goods, so 2,000 pounds that they had to carry up either 2 passes, the White Pass or the Chicxulub Pass. The White Pass was 10 miles longer but a lot more safe, and that its incline was less, where the other trail literally went up this incline, and nobody can carry 2,000 worth of supplies on themselves. So even carrying a 50-pound max, you had to take that trip like 40 times to be able to get all of your stuff up to the top. And then once you did, there was a lake that was frozen over, or would freeze over, so you had to wait for it to melt. And then you didn't bring a boat up with you, so now you had to build a shoddy boat to get across. I mean, just like the process to only finally get to the gold, and then that it was so hard. I'm sure they spent hour after hour in the creek with their cold pan hunched, neck down, sloshing out the water and looking for these flakes of gold. And that's the other thing, is the nuggets that you see is so rare. It's 99% flakes and dust. So you are literally looking for a flake of gold in piles of sand and silt and big rocks and stuff. It's not just big nuggets, big rocks that you're finding. So anyway, railway. Then we did the Iditarod dog sled experience. That was really cool. They brought us into a room where 2 previous Iditarod competitors spoke to us about the competition, how it is important to the Alaskan peoples and the dogs, their supplies, the sleds, the gear. That probably was 20 minutes or so. And then they brought us back to meet the dogs. They lined us up kind of along a run, and they let them out of their kennels, and the dogs ran through, so you could kind of stick your hand down and pet them as they were running through. They definitely do not look like what we would picture huskies to look like. They're kind of a mixed breed. She said they are Alaskan huskies, but not what we think of like the Eskimo huskies with that's black and white with the pointed ears and the bright blue eyes. They kind of, to me, look like, Mom, to you, they kind of look like, to me, like Dobermans.
No, not really. They just
No.
look like mutts.
Or Mom said mutts. Not Doberman. What am I thinking of? Just like but just had the how kind of smaller and sleek.
Yeah.
Not a greyhound.
They didn't look like any purebred dog.
Yeah.
Just a mix.
So that was interesting. And then they attached them to a sled, and there was a run, so you could walk off of the alleyway. And you guys saw that clip that I got of them actually running. She said they also don't use the word mush like you see in Hollywood. They'll say all right to go, and then whoa to stop. So that was really cool, just to kind of clarify those misconceptions and really hear about the race and all that they go through. It was very, very extensive, similar to the people who ended up coming here for the gold rush. It's, however X amount of days long. You're running in literally below 40 temperatures. You're getting like 2 hours. The musher or the trail guide is getting like 2 hours of sleep because they have to stop for 8 hours at a time, but it takes them so long to unbooty the little socks that go over each dog's foot and make them food and set up for the next day and change out your headlamp. And I mean, you have to do all of these steps that by the time you actually lay down and sleep, you're getting an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then you have to get back up and keep going. So it just seems really, really extensive. They do have a day where they have to stop at a checkpoint for a full 24 hours. So that's good. It just seems so extensive. It's crazy. So then after that, we went back to the Drudge, like the gold mining town, and then learned about the in-depth history of the gold mining, which I shared with you. And so by that point, I felt like everybody in our party, not so much Abel, he's more of a trooper, but Mom and I definitely, I was starting to get a headache. They did supply turkey sandwiches on the railway, but like, you know, little handmade turkey sandwiches, like yay big, with a little snack pack. So definitely food, but not a substantial meal that we've been getting on the cruise. And we had only ordered room service before. We had to leave at 8:15. So I ate like an English muffin and a little bowl of fruit. So I think my headache was just because I was hungry. But we'd gone out for long periods of time. We had just been taking in a lot of information. Max talked the entire way on the train, which I loved because you're learning so much. But then you're just everywhere you go, you're just listening. You're just taking in a lot of information, and you're hungry because it's like 6.5 hours long. So anyway, by the time we went back and we're learning the in-depth part of the gold mining, I think Mom and I were kind of checked out, and we found a bench and we sat for maybe 5-10 minutes, and Abel went ahead. So I wish that was more in conjunction with the gold mining rather than the gold panning. Going to the sled dogs and then going back to the gold panning, that felt a little disjointed. But I think the reason they had to do that is because they had multiple groups on site at a time, so they were probably trying to rotate through and make sure groups weren't interlocking, which just makes sense to me. So I understand why they did that, but just the flow of that was weird because then I was already out of gold panning brain and into dog brain, like, and paid attention to what was happening with the dogs. So then to have to shift back, it felt a little disjointed. But overall it was really fun. Would I do the excursion again? Probably not, only because of its length. And my favorite part of it was the train. So coming back to Skagway, if I ever did, I would do the train on my own and then have a lot more time to explore the town. Abel, I think, is more interested in that, especially. He likes being able to wander and really take his time. And there was a cemetery that we passed on the train that he really wanted to do. He likes that kind of spooky stuff. And we didn't have time to do that once the excursion was over and we had time in the town. We had probably like 5 hours on our own. But again, it's so small. And a lot of the shops there were jewelry, restaurants. Am I missing anything, Mom?
No.
I'm yelling at her in the cabin. Yeah, so you guys saw that too. We went and got the fry bread, which we were successful, but then we were right next door to the coffee shop, and they closed at 3, and we were there probably like at 3:30, so we were so close. But I'm so surprised by that because our guide Isaiah said Skagway is a town that's pretty much a ghost town during the winter months. So during the summer months when there's tourists, everybody doubles down and works a lot. So they're making enough money to get themselves through that winter time when they can't be open and aren't working. But I think he said the coffee house was one of the ones that was open year round. So maybe that's why they didn't.
3 o'clock is weird though when there's 4 cruise ships in port.
But yeah, we thought that exactly. The town is only like 1,000 people. So all of the cruise ships coming in were literally tripling or quadrupling their population. So if you know you have that many people wanting to come and spend money, especially on something that I think is pretty universal, like a coffee house, we were expecting it to be open later. But anyway, I've literally been talking for like 15 minutes, so I just wanted to recap our excursion. I did. I had a lot of fun. I'm so happy that we're getting to do this trip, and we're seeing so many different things, just like environments that I've never seen before, so different from Arizona and Florida. It is just stunning here. I definitely can see why people like put it in movies or come and photograph, like National Geographic, come and photograph the wildlife and the environment. It's just stunning. But I don't think Skagway was the town for us. It's a little too small. There's no doctors, no hospital, like literally not a hospital on site.
No doctor.
With no doctor. They have a little medical center that has 2 nurse practitioners that can help you, but if you have anything off that, you have to get a helicopter to evac out to the nearest town. there's the school there. The one school there is elementary through high school, because there's like so few kids. It's just crazy. It's a little too rural for us, I think, but it was beautiful. I'm very excited about Juneau though. Juneau's the capital, so I have high hopes for Juneau. And we are doing a city tour, so we're going to be able to see the highlights. We're going to a garden area, a hatchery, and I feel like I'm missing one other place.
We'll see a glacier, I think.
Oh, a glacier, okay. I thought I was missing one. Okay. Yeah, I thought I was missing one. So you guys are going to go see that. You're going to see that coming up. And I'll see you later.
And it's just like there's not a cloud in the sky. I think that I must have ended up and gone someplace, woke up someplace else, because this is not Juneau. All right, first things first. Let's get out of the parking lot.
Off of the Wonder in the motor coach, and we're heading to the Botanical Gardens first.
At that time, this whole area was underwater. The water was up to the mountain, or up against the side of the mountain. And Chief Cowie, who lived over in Sitka, would bring his group of his clan and bring them over, and every summer they would set up a fish camp between the two mountains. Well, Chief Cowie mentioned that he had see where the tram is going up on the side of the hill? Mm-hmm. That is where the shuttle will take you. So later on, and I'll show you where the drop-off is so that you can see where you'll be. But Chief Cowie brought him over. Joe Juneau and Richard Harris had been in Sitka, and Chief Cowie mentioned that seeing these yellow rocks. Now this, just on left over here, this is the Mount Robert tram, and this awning that you see is where the shuttle will pick you up and drop you off later on if you want to come downtown. But they came over and they established a mining operation. And as they started mining, others were brought in. We ended up with 5 mines in the vicinity. And at that time, all this area, of course, I said, was underwater. With the mining, the tailings that was left over from what they were mining for is what Juneau's been built up on. So I figure one of these days it's just going to slide into the channel.
It kind of looks like all the same shops as in Skagway.
But as you can see, this is our shopping district. It opens up with the very first boat, which was in April. It closes with the very last one, which is in October. And you don't want to come here in October.
We're at the gardens. This nice lady's gonna hop on and tell us about the garden, and we have 90 minutes here to explore. Oh, just gonna hop on.
Right where we are. Hi everyone.
Hi.
My name is Carol, and I'm going to be your guide through the Lower Botanical Garden. But my main job is to safely get you boarded on our adventure vehicles. You're going to the top of Thunder Mountain. And it's just a beautiful day. I'm not going to apologize about you not seeing the rain in the rainforest. This corner. So come follow me and watch your step around this corner right here. Aren't these beautiful?
Wow.
I'm one of the largest planters in the world. I think they really might be. All right. Want me to do everyone done?
Oh my gosh.
Wow, okay, that's great. That's so cool.
I'm going to give you a background of our property here,
Oh my gosh.
so you know how these things happen.
I feel like I'm in Alice in Wonderland.
Right where?
In there is beautiful. There's a little gift store. There's a ton of I don't want you guys to miss out, but once I start, I usually need to go a couple times.
Oh, somebody's watching you right there.
Oh my gosh. Beautiful. I think we're heading up to the bus. Made it up to the top. There goes our bus driver, or I guess golf cart driver.
I like him. What's his name?
Okay, did he not though sound like the teacher in Monsters Inc?
People put plastic.
Scan.
People suck.
Can Scream Can Design is an amazing.
I like his voice though.
It's so funny. Very dry humor. But this is the view, which is all of Juneau.
Come on down, take a look at the tops of these trees. There is no tops of these trees.
Yeah.
Once we get up to 90 mile an hour where we're at, off with their hats. We look at the branches, we're gonna see this green fluffy stuff. It's a lichen. It only grows in fresh air. So it's high in antibiotics. That green fluffy stuff is nature's vitamin. As we come down a little farther, this is called the Mendenhall Wetlands. It's a 4,000 acre game refuge. It's gone to the birds. It's because it's for the birds.
We made it. We signed the guest book.
Oh wow.
We're in this beautiful, like terrarium. Not terrarium, but like trellis seating. We've got coffee and cookies. Able to take a picture with me. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful!
So as we exit the bus, please watch your step. The ground around the hatchery is uneven. We have a couple of unmarked curbs, so please just make sure you're watching where you're stepping throughout your visit. All right, first up off the bus, we're going to head over to that ramp off to your right, where you'll be given a brief presentation about our operation and then free to explore the facility on your own. All right, if you can all follow me off the bus, I'm going to lead you over to that ramp, and your guide is waiting there to start your presentation. Again, please watch your step on the way over.
We're at Macaulay Salmon Hatchery. We got about 40 minutes here.
Here, over to about 5 minutes on the air. Then after you can go inside and learn and explore on your own. We ask you to hold all your questions to the end of the presentation. The staff and exhibits inside will explain everything in further detail. And we'll
150,000 king salmon in this one. 700,000 salmon in this one.
Oh my god. We're the only ones in here. It has all the informational cards on each side.
Another 700,000 in the car. And they'll be sent out in 2024.
That's a lot of fish. I mean, it just looks black, but those are the fish. That's because then you can see kind of over here it gets a little lighter. That's the bottom of the pool. So the black is literally all the fish.
So it's kind of sad. There's a floater. It's kind of sad that
They're all together like that, but
yeah, they have to grow up in such a tiny little environment. But
wow. Made it to our last stop, Mendenhall Glacier. And so we are here at the visitor center, and you can follow, I'm assuming, one of these trails, Photo Point Trail, all the way up. So there's the glacier there. We taking a photo? In the Tongass National Forest. That's where we were driving through, hon, at the garden center.
Yeah. Forgot how many acres it was.
17 million. So a lot. was showing Abel on the map. So we came in at the visitor center. We're now, oop, the visitor center here.
Hold it.
We're now, no, it's okay. I was just trying to figure out where we were. We're here at the pavilion. So we can go back to the visitor center and go up that trail and go on the photo point trail, or we can do the Nugget Falls trail, which I think will take us to that waterfall. But it is stunning. Wow, wow, wow.
That must be like an observation something up there.
How you liking it, nature boy?
I love it. It's beautiful.
Made it to photo point. It's like a 2-minute walk. I touched the water. It was cold. Avo's gonna touch the water. Cold?
Yeah. So cool.
We're walking the Trail of Time. Like one of the only ones on this trail. Beautiful.
So pretty. It's like forest silent.
Yeah. You can't hear cars or people.
It's very peaceful.
It'd be really fun to come back on our own and have more time to do other trails. But I think this is a good one to do as we only have 90 minutes. Yeah, so it gives us just the scratch of the surface.
Scratch or scratch.
Made it to the river. You can kind of see where it starts there. Barely. There's a lot of foliage. But it's dumping there, and we just crossed over the bridge. We're going on in the trail. Abel's living his best explorer life.
I love it. Look at that boulder. No.
No snakes. We left the glacier, made it back to the Wonder. But Abel and I got on a shuttle because we're going into downtown to do a little exploring.
I know, we're a little bit kind of...
We're hungry. Yeah, all of these longer excursions, there's no food. There's no lunch stop, so if anything, we're just gonna go get something to eat. But Mom went back to the Wonder. First stop off the bus, the Grind. And they have Canadian bacon breakfast sandwiches that we couldn't find in Canada. So we got two. Wanted to bring to Mom because we just thought it was so funny.
Nice.
Thank you.
And we get one more bacon.
Look at all these goodies. Oh my god. Doing some shopping now. We just went to the Alaskan t-shirt store. This is the whole street. So fun. Vacaciones, but tonight is Mardi Gras night, which is our favorite. We have beads on. This is what the menu looks like.
We have catch plenty of these.
Oh my gosh, so many from Universal's Mardi Gras that I was gonna put on our door, but I didn't bring them and forgot all of our door stuff, so there you go. back out. Get ready for the big celebration. Eat your big fatty steak. All right, eat it. Take a bite. Honestly, you said well done though. It looks much better than that salmon you had, or the tuna you had yesterday. That was big. Did you say another 10 out? Good?
It's time to celebrate, everybody.
That's how we do.
Baked apple pie with vanilla ice cream. I don't know what this sponge cake they put the vanilla ice cream on.
I've had my tiramisu loaf before, but that's definitely a mousse.
Yeah. Raspberry mousse?
I didn't get anything because I ate all my dinner and I'm very full. Oh my gosh, so we're like one of the last tables. It's clearing out. Literally, it's clearing out. I guess we eat slow. Haha. Done with dinner, we went to Cove Cafe. Probably a good 30 minutes. Sat and chatted with cast members. Now Abel and I are doing Disney Tunes trivia. Mom's back in the room. And there's us and 2 other families, so we might have a chance of winning. We'll see.
Oh, hi, what's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Zach. I'm from New Jersey.
Zach from New Jersey! Zach from New Jersey, are you going to lead your team to victory today?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, even if he has to lead the chant. No, he...
Can I get everyone in the store to clap their hands? Yes! Hello everyone, we are Pipeline Vocal Project. Before we continue on, we are going to introduce our members. So, to my right, I have our alto, our lady bass, Miss Molly Gianni. To my left, I have our soprano, our lead vocal, Miss Adriana Platorio. My name is Lisa Hawkins. I'm the group's vocal percussionist and alto. Thank you so much for being here tonight. If you
Zach and Elijah, come on down, please. Step aside.
Now we're at Crazy Karaoke in the same spot.
Now, chaps, just one request from you. You just need to leave the microphones in the stand for me, okay?
We are late night, we're cool,
we're
young and hip. Woo! We made it past 9 o'clock.
Well,
Ooh, boys a liar.
Okay.
All right, boys, let's do it.